is Bruce Millsap. The truck we have here today is a Rosenbauer 6x6. It's a vehicle that is designed specifically for aircraft rescue and firefighting emergencies. What I'd like to do is show you around our truck. The unique thing about these trucks is that they carry quantities of agent that are sufficient for handling aircraft emergencies. Basically, this truck carries 3,000 gallons of water, 400 gallons of AFFF foam in the holding tank. We also have a 500-pound dry chemical system and a 500-pound halon clean agent system. So this is a triple agent truck. The two auxiliary agents, the halon and the dry powder, are carried in these containers here. They're pressurized by a nitrogen gas cylinder, which is on the other side of the truck. This hose reel is used to deploy either of these two agents. In this compartment, we have just a regular fire hose line, which we use for handline operations. It's pre-connected to the truck, the pump. We also carry a variety of small hand tools here in this compartment. As we move toward the rear of the truck, we have access to the power plant, which is a Detroit inline diesel engine. There's one engine on this truck. The engine both drives the vehicle and operates the pump. The unique thing about this truck is its pump and roll capability, meaning that the pump can be engaged and functioning at the same time that the vehicle is moving, which is kind of an essential function for aircraft emergencies, to be able to position the truck and move it around and dispense agent at the same time.
What's the age that students and young adults can begin fire suppression training for career goals in fire safety?
I would say around 18 years old. They could probably start training before then, but to actually do the job, 18 years old is the minimum age.
Where can students and young adults find the career training available for this particular skill in firefighting technology?
A good place to start would be local community colleges. Most community colleges have some type of fire science or EMT program. And also the military is a good vocational training area specifically for aircraft rescue and firefighting. Most branches of the military that have some aviation component do train their own people for that.
What instilled you to become in a career that you're in today? You were so successful as a chief. How did you get your start in this career?
Well, I started off, I was 21 years old and just took a civil service exam and ended up being offered a job in the fire service, and that's been a number of years ago. We're sitting in the cab of our Rosenbauer 6x6 and wanted to show some of the controls that are used to pilot this truck. It looks complicated, but the truck is basically set up to be fairly simple to operate. Steering wheel, accelerator, brake, just like in a regular car or truck. Push button controls for most of the systems on the truck. We have a joystick here for controlling the bumper turret and the roof turrets to dispense agent. Radio system. We've got heads-up monitors and displays. We have a thermal imaging camera that's coupled into our truck here. One interesting thing this truck has is what they call a lateral acceleration indicator. And this warns the driver of the vehicle if the truck is getting overloaded or too much loading to one side or the other to prevent a rollover of the truck. This indicator will go off and warn the driver that he needs to slow down or to correct his steering. We're on the other side of the vehicle now. Again, access to the Detroit diesel engine. As we move forward, more access to firefighting equipment, hose reels. These are the nitrogen propellant cylinders for the secondary agents that we saw on the other side of the truck. This is a pump panel that the truck operator can use to operate this truck in structural fire mode. Even though the truck is primarily designed for aircraft emergencies, it can operate as a structural fire engine also. This truck is a 6x6, meaning that it can be set up to operate with all three axles locked in and driving the vehicle.
Meet the crew, A shift from Spokane International Airport.
Okay, and then 4, 5.
Meet the crew from Spokane International 8.
4, 5.
Meet the crew, A shift from Spokane International Airport.
Am I the only one?
We got the All-American hero right here. And your name?
Joe.
Joe. Joe, you did a fantastic job with the truck handling of it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe. Spokane International Airport Fire Department, Firefighter Joe. I'm here with Lieutenant Hayes, and Lieutenant Hayes will give us some valuable information about EMT response. Lieutenant Hayes, glad to meet you.
Me too. This is a unit we call Rescue 1. It's a Ford F-350 one time. This responds probably to at least 80% of all the car calls we have on the airport, which are medical. Right now we're currently staffed with 2 EMTs every shift, and we'll just go over the truck real quick for you. Some of the major things about this truck that are a little unique is we carry a lot of extrication equipment on it. It's set up in case we have a major plane disaster, we can cut, tear, rip into an aircraft. For example, in this compartment, we have a Genesis tool. There you go. This tool is very unique the way that we have it set up. We can actually start this motor in the compartment, and then we can use different types of tools. We have some spreaders here, and then we also have cutting tips for cutting. And then we have assorted size of what we call rams for spreading, just spreading apart equipment. And what's really unique about this is the way we have it hooked up, like I said, is we have 2 hoses that run into this other compartment where we have 150 foot of hydraulic hose. So we can start this machine up, get to the scene and then run these hoses out up to 150 feet and use any of the equipment I just showed you. So this is it's also used quite a bit here on the airport for auto accidents. Right. Well, here, let's have Jerome hold this piece of equipment. As you can see, it's a little heavy.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. So what we do with this one, for instance, is if we had to, for instance, we'll just pretend this is the door on an aircraft, and what we do is we'd get a purchase point, a little crack, and then we'd stick the tips of those in there, and then these bars would open. And on an automobile, we use it quite a bit for actually like car doors. Jerome would stick it in there, and then we just spread it apart. And the idea for all these is they have these little pins called mater pins, and that's actually what we're doing when we're popping the door. And then the spreader bar, you saw the cutter tips. What we can do with the cutter tips is, if somebody's in an auto accident and the steering wheel is pressed against them,
Yes.
we'll cut down here with those cutters.
Okay.
And then we'll use the ram, the spreader, stick
spread
one
it.
in here, one in here, and then
Yes.
we can roll the dash.
And roll it down.
So you can see where that would also be helpful in an aircraft
Yes.
accident. We've used it on numerous car accidents. And on cars, the posts are called different things. For instance, this is an A post.
Yes.
This is a B post. Right now, if we stuck those cutter tips on here, it would take approximately 10 seconds to actually cut through this metal.
Cut through that metal.
Right.
So actually, you're going to expose the whole roof of this of a vehicle in the event of an accident.
Right. Usually when we go on auto accidents, if somebody's pinned, we're really concerned about their cervical spine.
Yes.
So instead of trying to get them out of an auto that's crushed, we'll actually just cut all the A, B, and C posts
Okay.
and lift the top right off.
And lift it off.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. So it's a very unique piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And this replaces the hearse tool that you used
see.
to see on different types of apparatus.
Yes, and this is very heavy, so these gentlemen, they have to be in good physical fitness to be able to handle this.
Yes. It's about almost close to 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
So,
Yes.
so anyway, we'll let Jerome huck this back up in here. That goes up here. Put the tips the other direction if you could. Nothing to it, huh?
Nothing to it. There you go.
There we go. So that's what we use this particular tool for. Okay, this is unique because we have this on a roll-out tray. I'll pull it out to you. Okay, on this, we have different types of stretchers. We have just a hard backboard. We have a couple different types of hard backboards. And these are the straps called spider traps. That's to secure the patient to the backboard. We also have a scoop stretcher, and then we have moldable stretchers in here also. In the blue bags, this apparatus goes on a lot of car wrecks. We keep seat collars of different sizes, blankets. Let's see if I can find some. Then different type of padding to support the neck. So when we go to a car wreck, usually what happens is one guy will grab a backboard and one of these blue bags so we can secure the patient. Also on this truck, you see the big blue bags. Those are all full of wood that we use for cribbing. So if we have a vehicle that's crashed, we want to stabilize it. So the first thing we'll do is we'll lift it up, and then we'll set it on the cribbing. Or we can set the cribbing underneath and just deflate the tires so all the weight is on the cribbing. And then on this other side, there's all kinds of different tools, and that's to disconnect batteries, safety of the airbag, things of that nature. This is our command vehicle, and in here,
I'm going to run out.
in here, like Jerome was asking, if we have a small fire and it's a combustible fire such as wood or paper, we'll most commonly grab one of these silver extinguishers which contain 2.5 gallons of water. And that's what you use on a Class A fire. If we have a Class B fire, a flammable liquid fire, or a grease fire, we can use a Class B fire extinguisher, which is more like this. This is actually an ABC rated halon fire extinguisher.
Yes.
And this extinguisher here can also be used on electrical fires, but obviously you do not want to use a water extinguisher on electrical fire.
Okay, so again, no water extinguisher on electrical fire.
Correct.
Now, are the extinguishers, are they multiple rated extinguishers?
It depends on the size of them. On the smaller, the red ones, if it's a 9-pound or bigger, it's an ABC rated. If it's smaller than a 9-pounder, it's a BC rated.
Yeah.
And then we have an additional type of fire extinguisher on the big crash trucks, which is called a Class D fire extinguisher, and that's used for metal fires.
Yeah. Now, on just home fires, like such as wood or maybe a little grease on the stove that might ignite, what would you say just for just individual people or individuals?
I would recommend at least a 9-pound ABC rated extinguisher for your home. That way you're covered in case you have a combustible fire, a grease fire, or an electrical fire.
That's
And
good.
it's approximately the same size as the red one right there.
As
So
the
they're
red
not
one.
real large.
Okay,
So it's a good
great.
multi-purpose extinguisher to have around the house. And with the ABC rated, they come in 2 different types of agents. Usually you have a dry chemical, which is like a powder,
Yes.
or this particular one is a halon.
Yes.
And the reason we carry the halon on our equipment is because if we have a fire inside an aircraft, halon is an evaporating liquid type of agent. So
Yes.
it leaves no residue and it's not corrosive like a dry powder or a dry chemical agent. The type of jacket in front of you is, we call them silvers, and what they were designed for is to reflect high intensity heat. The type of fires that we might encounter on an aircraft are, what we're concerned about is the jet fuel, which is extremely hot. And the idea behind the silver is it reflects back some of the heat. But if you notice on our bunker rack over here, we're currently getting out of these and going to a structural type of bunker, the brown bunkers. So these are slowly being phased out.
Okay.
These are my bunkers here, and everybody's issued a helmet, 3 sets of gloves, a Nomex glove, leather glove, and a firefighting glove. Everybody's issued a mask, which we use in combination with an SCBA. And then we have the bunker pants and the bunker boots. The type of fire trucks you see in your community are geared towards structured fires, whereas these trucks are geared towards aircraft fires.
Okay.
And the biggest difference you can see because of the size, both of these trucks here hold 3,000 gallons of water. So it's
Okay.
like we're carrying our own hydrant with us, whereas the other trucks in town rely heavily on the hydrants to get their water.
Yes.
So, and the way we can do this right now, we can discharge these trucks, both of them completely empty, within 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
So the idea behind the aircraft fire is you have approximately 90 seconds from the time the aircraft hits the ground
Yes.
before you can get out survivability rating. So what we do is we go in here with mass application, create exits, and extinguish the fire so people can get out of the planes.
You handle this big rig. What type of special license does it take to handle a big truck like this?
For this truck, we go through an evap course every year, and then we got to learn all the operations and different fundamentals of the vehicle.
Yes, that's great.
Continuing education.
Continuing education. Well, that's great. But Ron, I certainly want to thank you very much. I enjoyed being with your crew here.
Okay.
And you
It's
have
been
a
great
good
having
day.
you here.
And thank you, likewise.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now. with Battalion Chief Jerry. And Battalion Chief Jerry is going to explain to us the demonstration and also the apparatus on this truck.
Thank you. This whole unit is what we call a snozzle, big arm. And within this snozzle, you'll notice a pointed piece of pipe there. This here is just called a piercing nozzle. And within the nozzle, you'll see various holes in it. What this piece of device will do, it can puncture the skin of an aircraft, and this will stop it, this little orange piece here. And it allows you to get hidden fires that might be within the walls of the aircraft.
Okay.
Same thing on a cargo aircraft. It can pierce cargo that might be on fire and won't jeopardize, obviously, firefighters.
Yes.
And you saw the big fan display that this will put out.
Yes.
A big fog pattern.
And I see that this is the spray outings here for the water committee.
This here is like an infrared camera. It'll allow us to find the hot spots on an aircraft. So if there is a hidden fire, whether it be within the skins of the aircraft, an engine, or a cargo container, this will show up on a TV monitor inside the cab so that the driver and the operator can kind of see exactly what they're going to do with this.
Yes.
And then again, the other piece on here is obviously a big turret, just like the other truck has.
Yes.
So it allows large quantities of water to flow out or foam.
And it does oscillate, I can see.
Yes,
Okay.
it will do that automatically or manually.
Or manually.
Correct.
That's great. Fire science education provides students with firefighting training and rescue to preserve life and property. From the Spokane International Airport Fire Department, over and out. Enjoy your station, and everything is well kept. And what kind of calls do you respond to here?
We go on all the different kinds of runs.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Medical
I was kinda
runs,
wondering.
aircraft runs, car wrecks. Hey, there's Brian. He can tell you about some car wrecks.
Oh, really?
Hey, guys.
What's up, Pete? Brian?
How's it going?
Baby, how are you?
Good, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
What are you doing out here?
Well, we're taking a tour of the airport fire station.
Oh, great.
We're just kind of learning what kind of calls do you respond to?
Well, accidents and everything, yeah.
That's great. Well,
You never know. You never know when you get it running. I mean, we've got to be ready to go all
well, yeah,
at all
well,
times.
so
Stand by,
Hold on a
SIA
minute.
fire report of a motor vehicle accident.
Oh, we got a car wreck right now. Hey, do you want to
I'll
go?
go with you guys.
You want to go?
Let's go.
Airport
Sure.
fire
Grab that car right there.
respond to auto with unknown
I go on
injury.
this side here.
Airport inbound. Auto, unknown